In this tutorial we're going to be looking at safety and defence, starting with two-way shots, which are really just playing with a little bit of insurance. Once you know where your opponent wants to shoot from, then it's really just avoiding those spots in your positional play. In this case, staying this side of the 9 ball. When we play position on the stripes, we can just prevent any possibility, even if we miss, of leaving our opponent a decent shot. We can make this bank on the 8 a two-way by playing a draw shot to pop the stripe. That's much better than leaving an easy starter for our opponent should we miss, and in this case they've got a much tougher long pot. The next category of safety is containing shots. These are shots which really just limit our opponent's offensive opportunity with. This first shot is one where we just basically try and put the cue ball on top of the ball that they would go for, but really limiting their ability to pocket the ball, and now they have to figure out a safety of their own. You can also contain your opponent using distance and hampering their ability to bridge properly by putting the cue ball on a rail or in front of another ball. Shots like these, it makes sense to hit the ball very thin so the object ball doesn't move much at all, and just try and put some distance in with the cue ball and hopefully leave the object ball in a position where a pot is difficult. And even when playing thin, you need to be conscious of where the cue ball will go and potentially play it into a position where you don't leave an easy pot. Bank shots are often a great way to leave distance between the cue ball and object ball, especially in continuation, and if you can leave either of those balls on the rail, it's even better. Understanding of the tangent line as well as good speed control is essential to playing these shots well. It's really important to get the object ball as near to a rail as possible. It's not always possible to get a lot of distance between the balls, so speed control is even more important in those examples. Just like here where we're playing to the long rail instead. You risk leaving a bank shot, so being aware of your opponent's ability on these great banker, then you probably want to come up with a different shot here, but if they're not, this can help get you out of trouble. Lining these shots up, you typically just imagine a pocket in the middle of the rail and slow bank it to there. You're often hitting the ball thicker than you'd normally expect to. Another containing shot is simply to push an object ball to a rail, playing it pretty straight. You've got to trust the table's not going to roll off for these kind of shots, but this can help you get a more of opportunity later on. You're also able to push the object ball into other balls and create more problems for your opponent. That's even better. You can help avoid the opponent having a kick shot or any other offensive shot. Just be sure not to leave a combo. In this exchange, we push the 5 ball to the rail and use the 7 as an additional obstacle. So yeah, speed control's key here, making sure we hit a rail with contain our opponent by blocking pockets. If we get an opportunity like this, just to cover a pocket and prevent them from putting their object ball. If we really find ourselves in trouble, we can resort to playing a deliberate foul. In this case, we're on stripes, and we can just roll the 8 ball to the rail, knowing that it doesn't go to any pocket, giving ball in hand but taking control of the table. Another scenario might be here where we're on the 8 ball but have no shot, so we resort to playing our opponent's stripe in or over the pocket, limiting their options without risking an easy run out. Off being that you risk giving your opponent an easy chance to snook you with ball in hand, and we're going to cover snookers next. With that ball in hand scenario, the player on stripes would now have the option to play into the 10 ball, creating separation between the 10 and the 8, whilst also leaving a pretty easy snooker. Able to freeze the cue ball on the 10 ball, it makes the snooker even more difficult. Snookers are where you've got 2 balls close together and you can simply stun behind a ball. Again, if you get frozen, even better. of where the object ball is going to go so that you don't accidentally pot it. More separation, you may find it easier to just roll or follow to leave the snooker, as in this case. Line up the shot to park the object ball and use another ball to slow it down or stop it, making it easy blockers in between, such as the 6, 5 and 7 in this case. A cue ball instead of the object ball, and then you've only got one to think about. In this case, using the 7 ball to stop the 1, 8 and 6 as blockers. With good speed control, you can be more and more creative. In this case, we're just going to play the 9 ball, follow off the rail and just gently come to rest behind another stripe. Gap about the width of a ball between a potential obstacle. It's a great opportunity to get the cue ball frozen. These are really difficult snookers to escape from. You can roll in, stun in, doesn't really matter, but whenever there's a cushion in a ball, it just helps slow the cue ball down and make difficult escapes. You might even be able to stun or check off the rail, as we're doing here, just to get nice and tight on the 8 ball.